What's going on? So Shaq was visibly upset about Jokic getting his third MVP on the TNT set, and he was pulling for Shea SGA to get it. And Kenny the Jet sided with him. Charles Barkley didn't. Ernie was like thinking it was just Grano. Shaq has a legit beef for a few things in the past when he thought he got robbed of about two or three MVPs, and I do believe he should have had about five. The logic that they used that him and Kobe canceled each other out was wrong because when they won their three chips together, Shaq was the better player and he had better regular seasons. And he would, and you got to make the case the first year in Miami he should have gotten MVP or tied it with Steve Nash. The logic made no sense, and I always said Shaq was unfairly in that Milan because of that. I remember seeing some players coming on, broadcasters saying that, but they didn't want to give it to him. They don't always do that. The pettiness of Shaq, though, is also evident. As much as I pull for Shaq, and I do think he's one of the greatest players ever in the highest order, he's a bit envious of the Jokic situation because Jokic now has three MVPs along with the championship and the Finals MVP, and he starts to move up rankings. However, the way Jokic is looking right now with Denver against Minnesota, that celebration will be short lived. But Jokic is the machine. That's what I call him. But they two different types of players. I've had people come at me talking about, well, Jokic is a better all around this and that. It's two different eras, two different styles. Shaq couldn't shoot outside like that, but he did everything else pretty much that Jokic could have done when he was in Orlando. He ran, he moved, he reformed and did his body different on LA. He got more physical. He got leaner in Miami. But the thing is that he did adjust it to what he had to. But they two different types of players. But when you watch Giannis, that's not too far fetched from how Shaq was. That Orlando Shaq was quick and agile. So can't say what he couldn't do. Depends on what Shaq we're talking about. But the thing is that Jokic facilitates, ball dominant, sets everybody up. So they're different in that regard. Even though Shaq is an underrated passer. And his rebound and his intimidation was real. He could block. He was legit. So it's not like he wasn't a force multiple dimensional. He's underrated as far as his passing goes. But Jokic is executing more and doing more of the teams. But I understand Shaq's not the only big man to have the insecure nature of feeling like someone stepping on his toes because it happened to Wilt Chamberlain too. And he let it be known how he felt. And he wanted to be known how great he was. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as well. Because as a matter of fact, when LeBron was going to pass his record, he said Magic came out and said, I don't know if Kareem can handle this well. Oh, you think I didn't hear that? You know, some people say big and sensitive. There's truth. I just thought that when Jaren Jackson was on there, they had the conversation and Shaq was going on about it because he said he didn't understand it and all that. But I do also understand that Jokic is on his mind because there are people like Bob Ryan who came out and said that they think Jokic is better than Shaq. I'm not going to say that. Jokic needs at least a couple more rings before we had that kind of discussion. League MVPs is a special honor. However, when you put totality, Shaq was still more dominant. And for the record, there hasn't been another center since Shaq. And you can give Jokic another MVP or Embiid, but y'all start winning rings, y'all start going to the finals left and right, and you're making the impact. That's where your legend is born. So while I'm giving Jokic his all around, and he's a great talent and everything, um, Shaq need not worry unless someone comes along that really starts to dominate. And the last person that dominated something visibly with changing the culture like Shaq did was Steph Curry. I mean, he did change the culture. But again, there's levels to this. And so it was a tough day for Shaq between the ex-wife and having to sit there and acknowledge that Jokic got the MVP. But at the same time, I do understand his moods on it for how he didn't get what he should have gotten and how they anointing. And I do like Jokic a lot. I do. However, my standards is this. You got to win two or three rings. You got to win at least three. We can have a discussion. Then that'll level up with all the league MVPs and then your numbers and your dominance. And when you look at a Shaquille O'Neal, he did dominate. You know, That's a fact. You can't even argue against that. You know, his dominance was legendary, and it hasn't been met since. That's all I'm saying. People get more awards and they get more acknowledgement, but they haven't dominated the way he did. All that finals that LeBron James went to, Steph Curry's runs, Jokic's multiple league MVPs, etc. But who has matched what Shaquille O'Neal did? Think about it. When it counted the most. Big picture. Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments. And I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shitter if you like my piece.